I just want to let everybody know that we really appreciate you joining us today. And the focus is all about the voice of the community. My name is Lauren Cavaney, and I am the president and co-founder of Work Out Loud. And today we're going to be talking about the board from Midwest Infor User Group. And we have the board here to discuss what is important to them, what's important to in-person meetings, as well as what's important with online communities. So with that said, I think what would be kind of nice is for everyone to introduce themselves. Let's just go ahead and go to the agenda. We're not going to do a demonstration. We're not going to show lots of slides or anything like that. But what we will do is focus in on what's important to the people that are attending today, which is what does the board have to say? So if you guys can go ahead and introduce yourself. I know we have all of you here. So I think whoever would like to start, go ahead, let us know your role within your board, as well as what company you come from and how long you've been utilizing the Infor, once was, Lawson product.
Well, I'll start us off. My name is Jennifer Harper. I also just go by Harper. I am a manager of business systems and business applications for Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. We are in Missouri and Kansas. We're 355 beds, and I manage the IS support for finance and supply chain. I also have our finance and supply chain EDI program. And so I have been with Infor since I started with Mercy 10 years ago. When I started, we were on V9, and we went to cloud in 2019 for finance and supply chain. We were already on HR, and then we went to single tenant V10 for payroll. And so today we are still on single tenant payroll, and everything else is in the cloud. And wow. I'll pass it to Jenny.
Hi, everyone. I am Jenny Granberg. I work for Bellin Health, which is now known as Amplify Health. We merged with Gunderson Health about 1.5 to 2 years ago. So our name is slowly changing over. So you'll start to see that. We started on Lawson V10 in, I believe it was 2017. That's when I joined the ERP team and our IT department. Otherwise, I've worked for Bellin for 27 years. We switched over to FSM and GHR in 2022. And we have that full suite payroll. We use XM. And I have been on the board for, I think, the last maybe 5 years. So, wow. Yeah. So I'll turn it over to Brian next.
Hi, Snakey, System Director, Finance IS, Springfield, Illinois, for Memorial Health. And we've been on Infor, Lawson since 98. I've been at the health system for 37 years, support the finance side, and been at the user group previously with Great Lakes User Group, and we recently merged and became a happier family, bigger, happier family up here with this group, and look forward to talking to you today. And I'll turn it over to Matt.
Yeah, I'm Matt Daniels. I'm the System Director of Business and Consumer Apps at Memorial Health. I work in the IT department, and we support Lawson and Cloud Suite at some point. I've worked on Lawson since 2007 when I joined the finance I joined the HR finance support team within Memorial, and then I ventured off there for a little bit and did some infrastructure work for our IT department, and then came back and joined the ERP team one more time, and have been leading that since then. And yeah, been a part of the board for 3 years now. I started with Glug, and then we had that merger, and been with IMUG for the past 2 years. So it's looking forward to the conversation. And I will turn it over to Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Trudeau. I'm with Aspirus Health in Wausau, Wisconsin. We have 18 hospitals and 140 plus clinics. And we've been in Infor Cloud Suite since November of 2023, but we were in Lawson prior to that. I'm kind of the newbie to the board. I just joined the board, I think, in November of this past year. And I joined Aspirus just 4 years ago. Prior to that, I've supply chain. This is actually my 30th year as purchasing. So I've been in purchasing roles and purchasing manager now for 30 years, but new to healthcare for 4 years. So definitely a new adventure with that. So, but tons of ERP and leading the teams. So thank you.
Yes. So when listening to all of your experience, not only as a customer, but also a leader in this community, that is the reason why I asked all of you to join us on this call today. Just because I think that you guys have a very strong leadership and you guys have done some amazing things. Your last event that took place in Chicago was spectacular. There was a tremendous amount of knowledge that was shared. There was a lot that people got out of that in-person meeting. And so I thought what we would do is just a casual conversation. You know, there's some questions that I shared with you, and we're just going to go ahead and dive into it. But I think the reality of the people that are on this call should know that it's people like you that really help having a voice within a community. You know, you have the experience, you have done a tremendous amount of implementation, support, highs, lows. So sometimes you hear all the good and positive things, but sometimes it's nice to know what you didn't experience very well, so then someone else learns from it. And that's what I think these user groups are great for. Is, you know, people are presenting, people are learning, but they're sharing and they're building relationships. And so the first question I wanted to ask, and I'm going to throw it out to any of you. So if you're shy, certainly someone who's not shy can certainly speak up. Jennifer. But, you know, the first question, you know, how do you think that the online community does empower people to be more resourceful within their career? So Jennifer, I'll let you go ahead and start. I'll just call out you, and then
Sure.
anyone, feel free to interrupt.
Well, I really think the main benefit of having an online community is quick access to like a wide width of knowledge. You know, we like Lauren just said, our experience is vast, and that's what you get in a user community. You get a variety of people with different backgrounds, different levels of expertise. Even if you're not even in hospitals, different hospital size beds, different organizations and governments, and all kinds of industries that you necessarily wouldn't get, from any other type of group. So just the access to the knowledge and the experience, and also the timing, it's a lot quicker. It's quicker access. It's more timely information that helps you in your day-to-day jobs. So that's what I think about first and foremost. And anything else from the board on that?
I would definitely jump into that. Being the newbie into healthcare, going to the on-site was one thing, but connecting, last year when I attended, I connected with people from Bellin Amplify, and then to be able to go back and say, I came out of manufacturing and this is how I did it there. This is how I ran purchasing. Why can't I do that in healthcare? How do I make that function here? And to have that conversation continue outside of that conference was huge. And we kept it going for months after that to get things to connect the way my brain was thinking it through from that manufacturing mindset. So it was just a nice continuation.
Well, and the thing is, all of you are in healthcare. And there's so much change daily with healthcare, what's happening. And so I think you guys continuing the momentum with meeting in person, as well as, like you had just said, being able to get some answers immediately online, because not everyone has the ability to travel. There may be some budgets, there may be some implementations, there might be, things that are pulling them back from being able to collaborate, face to face. So Brian, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Do you think it's helpful to your career?
Yeah, the other piece is, it's another way of getting, finding people. People change jobs and don't always, get a new card from them, or, you might not get that contact information. But I've found several people over the years I wanted to reconnect with through Work Out Loud, as long as they maintain that, which I always encourage people to do, to keep that up to date when they do change positions, but be able to find people. And then, like they both said, that, the response is quicker here than, and you can reach out to people quicker than just posting something on even an Infor site, trying to get a solution to something, but usually know somebody. And that's the power of the event, where you get the contacts and then you can stay in touch with them. And you're not hitting their personal email. You can reach out to them through here. It's kind of nice.
Well, privacy policy is definitely important to us, and
Right.
that's why we don't share emails, and we leave it up to the community to tell us what they're looking for. And that's also what's nice, is the voice of the community has helped Work Out Loud continue to build our platform to help you guys continue to grow. So so we appreciate everything you guys have done to help support us. Anyone else? Jenny, do you have any thoughts?
No, I mean, I think what the rest of the board said is great. I mean, it's the relationships, I think, that you build, that you build in person, but help these online communities, because you may start you see people or companies that you've built a relationship with and you're comfortable responding to them or reaching out to them. And, we all know how customizable Infor can be. So sometimes getting an answer from the company itself can be challenging because everybody's setup's a little different. So it's definitely nice having that online presence to ask those questions and start those conversations.
Well, it's interesting that we're talking about the company and we're talking about the board members and the attendees, but I think also a primary pillar are the partners. I mean, they're the ones that help with bring education as well as knowledge, as well as help fund the great events that we have. So, I mean, do you guys have any comments on the partners that we work with and the partners that you work with?
Specialty, and I think that they've been just fantastic. Like, it's such a community, and you know the same people, and then now we've engaged several of our vendors as a company, and so you see them as a user, but then you're also a customer too. Not only client, I'm a customer, president, whatever that commercial used to be. But we do have the best partners for our board right now, so it's very helpful.
And they are so supportive of the
Yes.
community and of our user groups, and they're really awesome to work with. So I don't know that we could get better partners than what we have.
Yeah.
So when looking at the questions, we're kind of covering them all. So my question also is to you in regards to, you have your online communities, not just Work Out Loud, you have multiple communities. And then of course you have your in-person meetings. Do you see one better than the other? Or, I mean, what's your opinion on, do you see them equal when it comes to what they have to offer, or is there one better than the other? Or what's your input on that? Matt, I'm going to call you out on that one.
Yeah, sure. No, I think they complement one another. The online communities definitely help you build that connection up front. And then when you have those in-person meetings, obviously seeing people face to face, having that personal interaction is really good. It helps you to build a stronger connection in some instances, but then you still have that online community afterwards to collaborate and, continue to build that relationship, reach out to people when you have issues. I work in IT. We have issues we can't solve all the time. We have to figure out a solution for. Having someone else who's maybe struggled through that same problem is huge. And then you also, like we've mentioned, the partners are there to have solutions for certain issues too. And yeah, both complement each other. It's hard to imagine a time when we didn't have them both together, where you just did everything on paper and then went and saw each other in person.
Well, I can remember when that happened. That was about 20 years ago when Digital Concourse started. And that's how it all evolved, starting with, at that time, it was MWLUG. And then it just evolved. So we appreciate all the support that you've continued to give us throughout the years. So
I did want to add on that, if I could.
Oh, please.
So you said MWLUG. So I came to IMUG because I was Missouri, Kansas board, and then that went to the Midwest Lawson Users Group, and then Midwest Lawson Users Group and GLUG, the Great Lakes, merged and became IMUG. So that's how IMUG, and that's how we all came about, because initially Missouri and Kansas weren't in part of it, and now we've kind of become this whole big thing. And so, this is going to sound very strange, but there's a lot of parallels in my PTA world, in that the board shouldn't be the board. Like, we change people all the, we should be having fresh people in our board. Hint, if anybody wants to sign up, we would love to take some new help. So, but platforms like Work Out Loud help me as in that, I don't have to go to all these, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to all these different channels that are out there. With all these name changes, people know that they're going to go to Work Out Loud for that information. And so it's a great place as we go through these mergers for people to find the information and the right resources very quickly. And not only that, but there's additional tools that none of the other platforms really give us. Like I'm sure you've all filled out a survey or two by us that Lauren has helped us put together. And not only that, but when we put together any kind of events, we've got the agendas, anything that the tools that help you with some of the kind of administrative things that help you just focus on learning and interactions with your fellow peers and colleagues. So just having this online platform and tool is very helpful. Just drop in and it's wonderfully easy to use, and we appreciate Lauren's support along the way in our board.
So I think, Jennifer, I need to hire you. Well, I appreciate the kind words, and right back at you guys. You guys have been tremendous, amazing example of how a board should be ran. I mean, all of the user groups do a great job, but it's just nice because you guys utilize all of the tools to help your members, to help your peers, to help the people that can't come to face, that you do share, the presentations, you do share asking questions and then giving back the information of this is what the community is saying. This is what our board is saying. So we appreciate you guys. So let's just kind of touch on something right now that seems to be a hot topic. Some people like it, some people don't like it, some people understand it, and some people don't understand it. And it's the whole AI. So what I want to know is, do you guys think that the AI concepts that are all out there, do you find them beneficial for what you know, and do you see it helping in the future?
My first word is terror, terrifying. I'm terrified, but I do use AI in some settings. I use it for a lot of things that, maybe mundane or things that maybe aren't value added. And so I think that it can help, in some of that ways. But, I just feel like we're just seeing the tip of this yet. So it's new to me still.
When you say terrified, what are you terrified about? If you don't mind me asking.
It learns so quick. Like it's just so unknown, I think, more than anything. And then what's the direction? And, and if it did this much in this quick amount of time, what's it going to be like in 10, 15 years from now? And 10 years will be here before you know it.
Yes. 10 years, Work Out Loud has been around for 10 years. So
right.
Go ahead.
In like a group like this, my frustration with it would be like the frequently asked questions concept. Like, I would never want to see an AI take the place of that interaction between us. I'm an extrovert. I want to get into the conversation. I want to ask those crazy questions, those where, okay, this might be a dumb question, but has anybody done this or tried this? And I don't want an AI to jump in, and I'm the person who goes, operator, stop asking, give me a real person. And so that's where I get concerned about the AI keeping us from talking to each other. And I know it's going to be in there. It's going to be, hey, your question looks like, did this answer this? Did we answer you? And that's where, to Jennifer's point, it scares me. Like, will that stop us from getting to talk to each other? I'd hate to see that happen and it build into that, because to me, that's what these platforms are for, is for us to get to talk to each other and interact there. So, I agree with Jennifer. That's the fear. In 10 years, does that step in between us? So.
Yeah, I would agree. That part we would not want to lose, but I think of things that could be really helpful as it evolves. I'm just thinking of Matt and I and how much time we spend putting the agenda together for like our events, and how, AI I think could help with that, or help, make sure we don't have duplicate sessions or duplicate speakers at the same time. And, to Jennifer's point, some of those kind of mundane, maybe administrative tasks, I think could help us and save us a lot of time. So I think there's pros and cons to it, and it'll just take probably lots of trial and error for us to figure out what works well and maybe what doesn't.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like I'm an extrovert as well. I like the interaction with people, but we're just asked to ingest so much information, and even as a leader in IT, like there's just so much coming at me. AI's ability to take meeting notes and take different emails and different things and digest it down into a consumable format that I can consume in a few minutes is huge. And I think there are going to be benefits to AI. It's going to be interesting to see how we govern it and choose where we can trust it and where it's really scary. But I mean, I see some huge benefits even, day to day already with what it can do.
Any other comments on that?
The agenda was where I was thinking a second ago. I think it'd be pretty cool to be able to feed that into there. I also teach at the collegiate level, and we struggle with how to use this for education, because the students are using it no matter what, but teaching through it and having them do an analysis, but then defend that. Why does that make sense to put a Walmart at that location in this city? Use your brain still, and we don't want to lose that critical thinking. You do want to take away those mundane tasks, but we just had a call the other day about using it for even team building. So have them do their Myers-Briggs or whatever, feed that into AI and say, hey, build us 2 teams out of these 10 people with these scores. Now you got to mask things, because that information goes out there, but just I got these 10 participants with these scores. What's a good fit for these? So it's pretty, versus just the old round robin, and you get, some teams that don't work out sometimes, but all kinds of uses.
That's a really good idea. In fact, I'm going to bring that back to my dev team, because Work Out Loud does recommend and suggest. It's called a suggestion engine. And we do suggest blogs or groups to follow based on your profile that you've created. But I don't think we necessarily do what you just did, which is, I think you should meet Jenny. I think you should connect with Matt because you're in IT and you're a leader and you're this. So that might be a really kind of a cool thing where you're meeting people across the country, because you don't have the opportunity to go across the country to their user group. If it's if it is the Southwest user group, you're going to stay with your user group. So that might be a really good idea that I'm going to bring back, thanks to you. And that's why Voices of the Community helps us as well as helps you guys, because it just makes us stronger. When we're all communicating to each other and sharing ideas, it's great that we're able to do that face to face, but we're able to continue the conversation after those meetings. So we are coming to a close here, and I definitely want to be respectful for your time. Is there anything, the last question is, how can the board receive any additional help? How can Work Out Loud help you guys? Is there anything that you can think of? Because we're here for you.
I mimic what Jennifer said earlier. Lori, not just yourself, but your team has always been super helpful to us. Keeping things up to date on the website, helping us push notifications, helping us build the agendas, being present at our user group event in Chicago was awesome, having you there as well. So, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything specific. I think just being part of our part of the board and being a resource for us is awesome.
Excellent. Is there anyone that you would like to see on this type of initiative all around the voices from the community? Can you think of anybody that I should ask? Because we've had Hans Mueller. He had some great insight, the importance of the community in person as well as online. He shared with us, the AI concept, where it's great to be able to reference something from the past, but I still want to have in-person conversations. So he's been really incredible with the way he's communicated his thoughts. Same way you guys did too. But is there anyone that you can think of that would be a really good person to interview, or you would like to see, or you would learn from?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean I can't later.
And Lauren, you're asking everyone who's on the call, not just us as the board, correct?
Put them in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. Good point. Is there anyone out there that has any questions? Well, I think this is what this is all about, is just getting some feedback from you guys, being able to have a voice for the people who are interested in joining us today. And so I really appreciate everyone who has joined us. I appreciate your feedback, your wisdom, your experience that you've been around for so long. And you guys are still here and thriving, and people look to your board, I will say, as a great example. So hats off to you guys. Appreciate you. And I think that is it for today. And I thank you for joining, and watch for the next one, and we'll see who that person might be or people. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for attending, everyone. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.